Africa has long been a birthplace of innovation, where homegrown vehicles, helicopters, and power solutions showcase the continent's creativity and determination. But today, something even more extraordinary is emerging, a breakthrough so revolutionary that it challenges everything we know about energy and technology itself. Imagine a world where vehicles run indefinitely, without ever needing fuel or charging, drawing energy straight from the air around us. In the heart of Africa, a bold inventor claims to have turned this dream into reality. Meet Maxwell Chikumbutso, a Zimbabwean innovator whose self-powering electric car has sent shockwaves through the global tech industry. Zimbabweans have the power to lead the world with first-of-its-kind innovations that disrupt traditional thinking, said President Wagawa during a public statement earlier today. The president made this remark while honoring Maxwell, who showcased his invention, the world's first self-powering vehicles and motorcycles that run purely on radio waves. No fuel. No plugs. Nothing but energy from the very sky above. It's a historic first, achieved right in Zimbabwe. But with such groundbreaking innovation comes equally formidable opposition. Chikumbutso's journey has not been easy. His story is marked by danger, resistance, and tragedy. At one point, he and his close collaborator were allegedly poisoned, an incident that claimed his friend's life in January 2017, leaving Maxwell as the sole survivor. "We were poisoned," he recalls. "Dr. Teddy didn't make it. I survived only by the grace of God." Despite the risks, Chikumbutso presses on, fully aware that his invention supposedly defies the very laws of physics, particularly the first and second laws of thermodynamics. According to conventional science, what he claims shouldn't be possible. Yet, he remains unwavering. At the core of his technology is the microsonic energy device, a system he personally developed in 2009. This device captures and converts tiny radio frequencies, usually measured in nanovolts, quantities so minuscule they're practically nothing, into usable, continuous energy. Through a complex design where 70% of the components were custom-built, the microsonic energy device transforms weak radio signals into pure, functional power. For the first time in history, an energy technology not reliant on traditional sources has been created, right here in Africa, challenging the foundations of modern science. The world's reaction has been mixed. On one hand, fascination. On the other, intense skepticism. After all, if Chikumbutso's claims are true, some of the most powerful industries and nations could face massive disruption. The stakes are high. Silence, doubt, and even alleged sabotage have clouded his work. In a world where electric vehicles have been celebrated as the future, with Elon Musk's Tesla leading the charge, a self-powering car could be a game-changer that threatens to overshadow even Tesla's most ambitious dreams. Even China, the global powerhouse of innovation, is watching closely. Welcome to Win Africa, where today we dive deep into the story of Maxwell Chikumbutso, exploring the fine line between genius and impossibility, and uncovering what his journey could mean not only for Africa, but for the entire world. Maxwell Chikumbutso's story is one of resilience, curiosity, and relentless pursuit of answers. Growing up in the high-density suburbs of Harare, Zimbabwe, he was no stranger to hardship. Dropping out of school at just 14, he lacked formal education but was rich with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. He taught himself electronics and mechanics, often experimenting with whatever scraps he could find. For him, every challenge was an opportunity to innovate. Over the years, Chikumbutso has made a number of bold claims, building an impressive yet controversial portfolio of inventions. One of his standout creations is a cordless, self-powered television, a world first. In a live demonstration, he proudly shows the TV running without being connected to electricity, solar power, or any traditional source. As you can see, this TV is powered solely by radio frequencies, he explains. A simple statement, yet one that upends everything we assume about how technology must operate. However, it's his self-powering electric car that has captured the world's attention like nothing else. Unlike traditional electric vehicles that rely on large battery packs and frequent recharging, Chikumbutso's car eliminates the need for any external charging infrastructure. It doesn't matter if you're far from a power station, stuck in a remote village, or traversing endless highways, the car runs independently, indefinitely. Rather than designing completely new cars, televisions, or devices from scratch, Chikumbutso's true breakthrough lies in the development of a self-charging system that can be integrated into existing technology. In other words, he is not reinventing the end product, he is revolutionizing the way it is powered. This opens up limitless possibilities, from cars that never need to stop for fuel, to household appliances that operate freely without ever plugging into the grid. His work promises a future where energy is no longer a commodity tied to expensive infrastructure, corporate monopolies, or geopolitical tensions. A future where everyday people, from Zimbabwe to the farthest corners of the earth, can access clean, endless energy. Yet, such a vision is bound to meet powerful resistance. Industries built on oil, electricity, and manufacturing stand to lose trillions. Scientists warn that Chikumbutso's claims must be rigorously tested and verified. Skeptics argue that such technology would violate basic physical laws. But believers point to a deeper truth. That many of humanity's greatest breakthroughs were once dismissed as impossible. Maxwell Chikumbutso stands at a crossroads, a symbol of hope, ambition, and defiance. His journey embodies the spirit of African innovation, challenging the world not just to rethink what is possible, but to open its eyes to the genius rising from unexpected places. As the story of this Zimbabwean inventor continues to unfold, one thing is clear: Africa is no longer just participating in the global technology revolution, it is leading it. Conventional energy sources, as we know them, are being challenged. If proven legitimate, Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-sustaining energy technology could not only catapult Africa to the forefront of global innovation but would also disrupt the dominance of oil and energy conglomerates, destabilize Tesla's electric vehicle empire, and even shake the very foundations of modern scientific understanding. However, there's a critical problem: why hasn't Chikumbutso's technology been independently verified? Why have there been reports of him receiving death threats? And why are there growing calls for his protection? As we dive deeper into his story, we uncover a complex web of challenges, conspiracies, and forces working either to elevate or to silence his work, a journey where fact and fiction blur. Introducing a self-sustaining vehicle isn't just an interesting technical achievement, it's a direct threat to the global oil industry and the technological dominance of major economies like China and companies like Tesla. For years, Elon Musk, as the face of Tesla, has championed the electric vehicle revolution, pushing forward the integration of solar energy, autonomous driving, and battery storage. His grand vision involves homes generating their own electricity through solar panels, storing it in Tesla Powerwalls, and using electric vehicles as mobile energy hubs. Tesla's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy has driven remarkable progress. However, if Chikumbutso's invention, a car that draws energy independently from the environment without ever needing an external charge, proves real, it could shatter Tesla's vision entirely. A vehicle that doesn't rely on batteries, grids, or solar integration would render much of today's infrastructure obsolete. Such a possibility threatens not only Tesla but the broader global energy market, potentially explaining the eerie silence from powerful corporations and nations heavily invested in the current energy model. Chikumbutso's work has not gone unnoticed. Despite the skepticism surrounding his claims, he has reportedly received multiple lucrative offers, including a multi-million-dollar proposal from American investors who wanted to relocate him and his operations to the United States. Yet, the self-taught 44-year-old inventor declined, choosing instead to remain in Zimbabwe and guard his innovation closely. His caution is not surprising. The concept of harvesting radio waves to power vehicles is so revolutionary that it challenges conventional scientific laws, and in doing so, makes it difficult to protect legally. In particular, patenting such technology is nearly impossible under current intellectual property laws. Chikumbutso has spoken openly about these challenges, explaining that certain inventions, especially those that create monopolies or violate accepted laws of physics, cannot be patented. There are patents which cannot be patented, he shared, because they challenge the existing structure of scientific understanding. For instance, inventions that are seen as dangerous, monopolistic, or fundamentally disruptive to established norms are often rejected by patent examiners. In Chikumbutso's case, because his device allegedly violates the first and second laws of thermodynamics, patent offices have deemed it non-industrial and therefore unpatentable. In other words, in order to accept his technology, the world would first have to revisit, and rewrite, the very laws of physics. This illustrates a broader systemic problem African inventors often face. Even when groundbreaking innovations emerge from the continent, they are met with overwhelming skepticism, legal roadblocks, and barriers to recognition. The world is rarely ready to accept revolutionary change when it comes from places that have historically been marginalized. Regardless of whether Chikumbutso's claims are ultimately verified, his story highlights the urgent need to better support and protect innovation from Africa. Despite the controversy surrounding him, Maxwell Chikumbutso's journey has ignited important global discussions about the future of energy, transportation, and the emerging role of African innovators. Skeptics, including several prominent fact-checking organizations, have challenged the validity of his claims. Investigations have revealed that some of the cars he demonstrated, like the Chery QQ3 or the Protronic EV, were actually existing electric models powered by conventional lithium-ion phosphate batteries, rather than the revolutionary self-charging system he described. These findings have fueled accusations that Chikumbutso's technology might not be as groundbreaking as he asserts. Chikumbutso, however, remains firm. He argues that patenting his device would only expose him to greater risks of intellectual theft and suppression. He fears that powerful interests, threatened by the disruption his technology would cause, would find ways to bury it. And indeed, history has shown that radical innovations are often either bought out or suppressed before they can reach the masses. His concerns are not unfounded. The idea that radio frequencies, naturally occurring and ubiquitous, could be harvested to power vehicles, televisions, and homes without any fuel or battery dependency is profound. If true, it would revolutionize global energy markets, dismantle traditional infrastructures, and profoundly impact industries worth trillions of dollars. It's a threat that few in power would willingly allow to flourish without opposition. While skepticism is important in scientific validation, it's equally critical to acknowledge the barriers inventors like Chikumbutso face. Africa has long been a continent of immense creativity, yet African inventors have historically been underrepresented, and their contributions often overlooked or appropriated. Regardless of the eventual outcome of Chikumbutso's story, his work underscores the untapped potential of African innovation and the systemic challenges that continue to obstruct it. As the conversation around Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-charging electric vehicle continues to evolve, major strides are being made toward recognition and commercialization. According to recent reports, some renowned universities and scientific institutions have evaluated and certified the core principles behind his technology, validating its potential to reshape the energy landscape. While full mainstream acceptance is still pending, significant progress is happening quietly behind the scenes. Meanwhile, plans for commercial production are already underway. Small machines utilizing the self-charging technology have been manufactured and sold, primarily in Zimbabwe and parts of Africa. Buyers from countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo have already acquired units, and distribution networks are being established to expand access. "We are now in the commercial stage," Chikumbutso announced proudly. "We've started selling machines. Whoever wants a machine can now get one through our distributor in Zimbabwe." This marks a pivotal shift. From an obscure, highly controversial claim, Chikumbutso's invention is moving toward real-world application. Step by step, he is proving that, despite resistance, real innovation cannot be forever suppressed. His progress serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes, true breakthroughs face their harshest critics before they achieve acceptance. In a world desperately seeking sustainable energy solutions, the story of Maxwell Chikumbutso challenges us to rethink our assumptions. It asks us to look beyond the traditional centers of innovation and consider the immense, often overlooked ingenuity thriving across Africa. It highlights the importance of creating systems that encourage, rather than stifle, radical innovation, no matter where it comes from. Whether Chikumbutso's technology will ultimately stand the test of time remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, his story has sparked a global conversation about possibility, resilience, and the future of energy. As the world races to solve the urgent problems of climate change and energy inequality, perhaps it is time we start looking to places we've long ignored. Africa is not just rising. It is ready to lead. If you found Maxwell Chikumbutso's story inspiring, insightful, or even just thought-provoking, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Win Africa for more groundbreaking stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's keep this conversation alive. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Maxwell's invention is fact or fiction? Let's discuss.